Today we are talking about the different religions of ancient India. So let's get started. How's it going, everybody? Welcome to Virtual History 360. I'm Mr. Wade and we are taking a tour around Minecraft while discussing the different religions of India. Well, we're going to start with Hinduism. Now, the term Hinduism is relatively new, but the practice itself is one of the world's oldest religions. Today, Hindus make up the third largest religion, but in the beginning, it started out as oral histories shared by the Brahmin priests who memorized the Vedas. Well, Vedas were the religious teachings. Eventually, the invention of Sanskrit. With the invention of Sanskrit, the Vedas were written down and the different beliefs across the country were blended into the faith that is Hinduism. So, what were these beliefs? Well, I mentioned the Brahmin priests. Well, they believed in the universal spirit called Brahman. They believed that every living being has a soul, and that soul is a part of Brahman. And when they die, the soul leaves the body and joins with Brahman. These ideas were written down and shared in books called Upanishads. The problem was that the grand idea of the Brahman was difficult for ancient Indians to understand. So eventually, three deities came to the forefront of Hinduism, and these were Brahma the Creator, Vishnu the Preserver, and Shiva the Destroyer. These deities came to represent the universal spirit that is Brahman. Belief in deities is only part of the religion. Another part is the belief in reincarnation. This is the rebirth of the soul back on earth. Hindus believe that a soul does not reunite with Brahman right away, but must pass through many, many lives here before that can happen. During these lives, the soul is given status based on the previous lives. This is the idea of karma, that your actions in the past determine your caste in life. If you lead a bad life, you are reborn in a lower life form. But if you lead a good life, you come back in a higher form. Make sense? So, to guide you on your path, you must follow Dharma, your personal duty. Now, while everyone has different duties, farmers and priests do different things, right? The aim is the same, to help you earn a better existence. So, from the animals to the different levels of the caste system, Hindus believed that everything and everyone was on the same journey and should be treated with kindness and respect. Now, let's shift gears. Let's talk about Buddhism. Looking around here. By the 500s BCE, there were some Indians who were unhappy with the complicated ceremonies of Hinduism. And looking for a simpler faith, many left their homes to look for peace in the hills and forests around them. They trained their minds to focus through meditation, and as they improved, some became teachers of this style. One of these teachers was Siddhartha Gautama, who became known as the Buddha. Siddhartha came from everything. He was a wealthy prince, good looking, young, had everything. But he was shocked by the misery and poverty that surrounded him. So Siddhartha gave up everything he had to become a monk. Well, as he traveled, meditated, and taught, he gained followers. His teachings became the foundations of Buddhism. Now, not all of the ideas of Buddhism were new. In fact, they were closely related to Hinduism. The Buddha followed the Hindu ideas he liked and changed others he did not. The big idea that he taught were the Four Noble Truths. Number 1, life is full of suffering. Number 2, people suffer because they desire worldly things and want to satisfy themselves. Number 3, the way to end suffering is to stop desiring things. Number 4, the only way to stop desiring things is to follow the Eightfold Path. So I guess I should explain that as well. Here are the 8 steps. 1, know and understand the Four Noble Truths. We just talked about those. 2, give up worldly things and do not harm others. 3, tell the truth and do not gossip and do not speak badly of others. 4, Do not commit evil acts such as killing, stealing, or living an unclean life. 5. Do rewarding work. 6. Work for good and oppose evil. 7. Make sure your mind keeps your senses under control. And 8. Practice meditation to see the world in a new way. If you could follow all 8 steps of the path and free yourself of all earthly concerns through the noble truths, then you could reach nirvana. This is not a physical place, but rather an emotional and spiritual state. For those who do not reach nirvana, Buddhists also believed in reincarnation that was determined or based on karma. Now, these are not the only religions of India. In fact, very few people in India practice Buddhism today, even though that is where it started. It's hard to talk about India without visiting the Taj Mahal. Look at this. So, as we walk around here, let's wrap up Indian religions. Around the same time Buddhism was being started and the teachings were being spread, there was another group who disavowed their worldly possessions and adopted extreme poverty as a method to achieve enlightenment. This group was called Jainism. There are still about 6 million followers in India today. Well, 6 million in India, that's only about 0.37% of the population. Think about it, that's much smaller than the 79.8% who practice Hinduism. Now let's talk about another group. Now that we're at the Taj Mahal, let's talk about the Muslim community, which makes up approximately 14.2% of India. The Taj Mahal was built in the 1600s as a mausoleum and a mosque. So, as you can see, India is relatively diverse today, and those roots can be traced back for thousands of years. But, to review, the 2 ancient religions that we focused on were Hinduism and Buddhism. One remains a large part of the culture, while the other has moved geographically away. Now, either way, the world is influenced by these religions who got their start in ancient India. Have you heard of these religions before? Have you ever been to India? I'd love to hear about your trip if you have. Let me know in the comments below. And while you're there, go ahead and hit that like button for me. I love the engagement. And if that button is red, let's turn it gray and hit that subscribe. Of course, while you're around, check out the other videos like you see to the side over here. I have other world history videos, I have US history, I have civics videos, I have 360 videos that you can look all the way around. Check them out because I know you're going to like them. For Virtual History 360, I'm Mr. Wade. I'll see you next time.